Another day, another story. 1. Peru Christmas Fighting Festival. Deck the halls or deck each other. You may associate Christmas with Santa Claus or peace on earth and goodwill toward men, but in some areas of Peru the day is celebrated with bare-knuckle mayhem. For the Takanakui Festival, which takes place on December 25th, people settle their disputes and grievances by challenging each other to fistfights. These are held in makeshift rings with spectators looking on. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Fighters and spectators attend the festival wearing costumes based on local folklore. To keep the proceedings from going out of control, the referees carry whips. Takanakui has its roots in the indigenous pre-Christian traditions of the Chumbivilcas province of Peru. But in recent years it has spread more widely to the consternation of law enforcement officers. Tweu, Greece, Rukatopolemos, Rocket War. Every year on Easter, the Greek village of Frontados engages in an unusual, dangerous custom. Two rival churches, Agios Markos and Panagia Erythiani, stage mock war, firing as many as 60,000 small rockets at each other's bell towers. This takes place while services are being held in both churches. The light show in the night sky is spectacular, but some of the rockets inevitably veer off course, causing injuries, property damage, and occasionally death. Nobody is sure exactly how the tradition got started. One legend says that the village used to fire cannons over the sea to ward off pirates, but the cannons were taken away to prevent uprisings during the Ottoman occupation. After the War of Greek Independence, 1823-31, residents celebrated having their access to munitions restored by shooting off fireworks. 3. Spain baby jumping. The Spanish village of Castrillo de Murcia has some interesting ideas about childcare. Since the 17th century, the village has been holding a yearly ceremony in which infants are laid out on mattresses in the street. Actors dressed as devils then leap over them. The ritual supposedly dispels the children's original sin. For a variety of reasons, the Catholic Church disapproves of the ritual and asks that people stick to baptisms with water. The festival hasn't had any mishaps yet, but nobody would blame you if you held your breath until the jumping part is over. 4. England cheese rolling. For more than a century, a two-day festival has been held in Gloucestershire, England, centered on a strange competition. An 8-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese is rolled down a 200-yard hillside in the country. A group of runners chases it, trying to catch it. The problem is that the hill is too steep for a human to stay upright, so most of the runners fall awkwardly after a few steps and then tumble the rest of the way down. Theoretically, the cheese is given to the runner who catches it. But since a wheel of cheese travels downhill much faster than the fragile and oddly shaped bipeds pursuing it, the prize usually goes to the first person to reach the bottom of the hill. Bumps and bruises are guaranteed, and more serious injuries are a definite possibility. Local authorities have tried to discourage the festival, reminding the organizers, including the manufacturer of the cheese, that they could be held liable for any cheese-rolling injuries. 5. Italy fruit battle. If oranges seem harmless to you, that's probably because nobody has ever thrown one straight at your head. Every year in February, the Italian town of Ivrea stages a citrus battle royale, reenacting a semi-legendary medieval uprising in which the town overthrew a tyrant. A horse-drawn cart carrying oranges and players representing the tyrant's evil henchmen is drawn into the square, where it is swarmed by hordes of noble orange-throwing townspeople. The players in the cart wear hockey-style protective gear. The people on foot have special uniforms that divide them into 9 traditional squads, but nothing to soften the impact of an orange arriving at high speed. Cuts and bruises are to be expected. The sting of orange juice in a cut is certainly an acquired taste. The battle looks like chaos, but there is an important limit. Throwing oranges at the horses is strictly forbidden. The fruit battle you're referring to is likely the historical event known as the Battle of the Oranges, which takes place annually during the Carnival of Ivrea in Ivrea, Italy. During this event, which has roots dating back to the Middle Ages, participants divide into 2 teams: the Arancieri, orange throwers, and the Arancieri Scortesi, rude oranges. The teams engage in a spirited battle where oranges are thrown at each other. The tradition is said to commemorate a historic event in which the people of Ivrea rebelled against a tyrant ruler. The battle is a symbol of the people's resistance against oppression and has become a significant cultural event, attracting tourists from around the world to witness or participate in the festivities. It's a unique and lively celebration that adds to Italy's rich tapestry of cultural traditions. 6. Spain Running of the Bulls. Everybody does vacations their own way. Some of us like to go to museums or restaurants, while others like to be chased down the street by angry farm animals. If you're in the latter category, head to the Fiesta de San Fermín, held in July in Pamplona, Spain. Early in the morning on each day of the festival, about 2,000 brave souls line up at the start of an 875-meter, half-mile running course through the streets of the city center. The fun starts at 8 a.m. when the human runners sprint down the course, immediately followed by 6 charging bulls. Injuries are rarer than you'd think, but tramplings and gorings, including fatal ones, do occur. More than half of the participants in most runnings of the bulls are tourists. This probably owes something to the American writer Ernest Hemingway, who popularized the festival after he attended in the 1920s. The event you're referring to is the famous Running of the Bulls, known as the Encierro in Spanish. It takes place during the San Fermín festival in Pamplona, Spain, which runs from July 6th to July 14th each year. During the Running of the Bulls, participants run in front of a group of bulls that have been let loose on a course of narrow streets of the city's old town. The event has its roots in the traditional transportation of bulls from their corrals to the bull ring, where they would be fought later in the day. Over time, it evolved into a spectacle and an integral part of the San Fermín festival. The Running of the Bulls attracts both thrill seekers and spectators from around the world, but it also carries significant risks. Serious injuries can occur due to falls, trampling, or goring by the bulls. Safety measures are in place, such as barriers along the route and medical teams stationed strategically, but accidents still happen. The event has garnered controversy over the years, with animal rights activists criticizing the treatment and use of the bulls for entertainment purposes. Despite this, the Running of the Bulls remains a popular and iconic cultural event in Spain, drawing visitors who come to experience the adrenaline rush and the vibrant atmosphere of the festival. In Japan, extreme log ride. Once every 6 years, the Onbashira Festival takes place in the Lake Suwa region of Nagano Prefecture in Japan. The purpose of the festival is to replace the 16 log pillars that stand at the corners of the 4 buildings of the Suwa Grand Shrine. The festivities begin in the mountains in April, when 16 carefully chosen fir trees in the mountains are cut down using traditional logging tools. They are then dragged down to the temple without the use of mechanized equipment. The logs are usually about 20 meters long and weigh as much as 12 tons, so people have to work in large teams to hoist them up mountains and across rivers. The entire journey, usually about 10 kilometers, is treacherous. The deadliest part, though, comes when the logs have to be moved downhill. To prove their bravery, men ride straddling the logs as they hurtle down the mountainside. This can result in devastating injuries and death. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.